1, 2, 1, 2. Test.
Hello. 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 Okay, so we're live. We apologize for throughout this week, we've had different activities, from learn to play, learn to DJ. And right now, we are actually having the Music Business Conference. So, welcome to the 2020 Music Business Conference. My name is Susan Adinoye. I'm an organizing partner of Make Music Lagos. So, quickly, I would introduce our moderator for the day. And our moderator is no other person but Ayo Mario Essie. Clap, 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 clap. All right. So she is a broadcaster, an event host, and a very talented lady. All right. So without further ado, I welcome Ayo Mario Essie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Susan. Hello, everyone. And again, you're most welcome to today's edition of the Music Business Conference. As Susan mentioned, I am Ayo Mairo Esse, and I'm delighted to be your moderator for today's panel session. We actually have two panel sessions, and the first one I'd like to very quickly introduce. We have our very talented and carefully selected panelists standing by, and we also look forward to taking some of your questions. Now, before I take on or introduce our panelists this afternoon, it's a rainy afternoon, by the way. I hope you're keeping warm. I hope you have a cup of beverage or something by you to just help you along this conversation this afternoon. But before then, we have a few ground rules I'd like for us to just go through. And we want you to be as, we want you to engage with us this afternoon. We want you to ask questions. We want you to relate with our speakers or our panelists this afternoon. But before then, we'd love for you to note a few things. The first thing is that all questions should be sent via the chat platform. All right, so if you have any question, if you want to, so you don't forget it whilst we are speaking, whilst the panelists are speaking and you have something you'd like to ask, you can write it down somewhere. And once we call for questions, kindly put in the chat platform. Then please wait until questions are requested before sending in your questions. Again, so that you don't forget, you know what you can do? You can actually type it out somewhere, and when it's time for questions, when we call questions, you can then type it in the chat platform, and one of the organizers will be more than happy to respond or to send me the questions I will ask our panelists. And then this is the question format. If you'd like to ask a question, introduce yourself, please. Kindly tell us your name, and if you want to say one line about yourself, and then go ahead to ask your question. I hope that's clear. So question time will come. I'll announce when it's time to ask questions. At that point is when you should put your question in the chat box. However, so that you don't forget your questions during the course of the conversation, you can actually type it out or write it out somewhere. And then once the call for question is put out, you can then send it in. Now, if you'd like to ask questions, introduce yourself. We'd love to get to know you. And maybe a one-line about yourself, and then go straight to asking your question as succinctly as possible so that we can save enough time and get to as many questions as possible. Okay, let's get straight to business. It's the first panel session for today. We're going to be looking at recreating the creative process. Many people have talked about the new normal. COVID-19 has introduced us to a new world that we perhaps didn't even Okay, sincere apologies for
Hello.
the slight break in transmission.
Hello. 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 Hello.
All right, can you hear me?
Okay, so we're live. We apologize for.
Can you hear me? All right. Okay, we apologize for that short break in transmission. As you would realize, the weather has been horrendous. Well, not horrendous. It depends on what side of the divide you're looking at it from. But we've had a few technical hitches due to the current weather, you know, the act of God. So we really do
Throughout this week, we've had different activities from learn to play, learn to DJ. And right now, we are actually having the music business conference. So welcome.